Well, good morning. Travels with Dottie on the 13th of November, 2024. Got a little bonus video for you. It's 8:10 in the morning. I'm going to be a minute or two late for my last chiropractic appointment before I go to Quartzsite tomorrow morning. I'm running a little late. Just had a little organization problem. One of the things I did was I pre-wrote out my check for the LTVA in Quartzsite tomorrow. So all I got to do is walk up there, give her an ID, hand it over. Don't need to write the check. I'm writing it ahead of time. I know how to do it because I've done it so many times. My friends are down there waiting for me. Got a new friend I made up here. His name's Billy. He's going to be following me down. You might have seen him in the comments. And my Garmin, I'm looking at my Garmin GPS thing and it's acting up again. Don't know why. Did this about a week ago. It just kept trying to boot and wouldn't boot up. It goes blank. Comes back on again. And I kind of like to have my GPS for my trip tomorrow, so I'll have to take a look at that. But the plan for today is I need to get 3 things done. I need to get my last chiropractic appointment. I need to fill up with gas. Almost down to half a tank. I want to be super full on my first day my first and only day of a trip. I like being full of gas when I take out, and I want to avoid having to bring the trailer into the gas station if I don't have to. And then I'm going to go to mail messages and more and pick up my last little, what I might have there for mail. So running a little late's not going to really be a bad thing for me, because they don't open till 9. It's 8:15 now. So if I take my time getting my gas and everything, I should arrive there by 9, get my mail, and I've got a real short list of stuff to do to get ready tomorrow. The biggest part is hitching up and checking all that stuff. So as I'm doing this, I've got my Garmin in my left hand. I did a hard reset on it, and it's still not working. I'm not happy about that. Yes, I can use my phone to make sure I make all the right turns, but I really didn't want to have to do that. A little frustration. I almost replaced it last week, so I had the new one before I left today, but I got it working, and it looks like, oh yeah, it's booting up now. So I think probably by spring, when I actually go someplace, I'm gonna have to replace this. If this is happening, and it means something to do with the circuits and everything is going, and we just need to avoid that problem, so we'll just get a new one. And that should be good. I did a little video this morning that I'll release tomorrow morning I did that and a positive news video ready to go in the morning. So all I'll do record in the morning is your guys' comments from today, and I'll be on my way about 7:30 a.m. and I'll lose an hour. It's an hour ahead. Gotta jump an hour ahead going to Quartzsite. It's 220 miles or so, 230 miles. So if I don't stop, it's 4 hours. So, somewhere, I'll probably stop, take my time. I've got to go through Vegas, and I'm sure even leaving at 7:30 in the morning, I'm going to have problems getting through Vegas and traffic. So I'm going to count on, by the time I stop, pay, get my stickers, pay for my pass, and do the long journey through the washes and everything up to my campsite. I'm going to guess, my guess today is about between 3 and 3:30 p.m., which will give me enough time in daylight, an hour and a half or 2 hours of daylight, to do a minimal setup, at least set out my solar panels. And then I've got a whole day's worth of commitments, Friday, Zoom commitments, all day long. I'm not going to be able to do any, unless I have a cancellation or two. I'm not going to be able to do any camp setup really on Friday. But Saturday, I'll be able to do the rest of my camp setup, and you'll join me for that. I'll do a video on that. And then I'll go into Quartzsite in town for the first time and I'm going to do video every business I go to, everything I do in Quartzsite, even though every year I do repeat videos on businesses in Quartzsite. It's worth doing it fresh every year. Who wants to look at my last year's stuff? Not me, not you. We want new stuff, right? So I'm a couple minutes late. I'm a minute or two away from the receptionist calling me to see where the heck I am. But if they're anything like me, I didn't really pay attention to the terms, but I'm sure they charge you for the session if you don't show up. Because if you make an appointment with me and you don't show up and you don't tell me, and I sit and I wait, 15 minutes for you, you're gonna get charged for the session. Sorry. But I give my clients tons of warning about that. That you could call 2 minutes, 1 minute before the session, or text me 1 minute before the session and say, I got to cancel today. And I'm cool with that. I just, fine, we'll reschedule. But and I do make exceptions if people have, an emergency. But I just forgot, or I overslept. No. Well, it looks like I'm going to escape getting a phone call. I've only gotten one once. So I am 3 minutes late. I think that's not bad. They probably do 10 minutes, I'm going to guess. So I will be back with you, and we're going to go get gas, and then we're going to go to mail messages and more. See you in a minute. All right, so that was my last cash pay chiropractic visit. My next one will be in March, and it will be covered by Medicare. So that's kind of a relief. One of the things that I'll do on the channel next year when I get Medicare, I've done a lot of education on what I found out so far getting Medicare and picking the options. I'll do videos, or within my videos, I will talk about things, new things that I learned, things that if I, God forbid, encounter something, a medical procedure or something that ends up not being covered, I'll tell you what happened and why it happened, and if there was anything to do about it, I'll tell you what it is. But I'll definitely share my experience with you. So it is 8:37, so it's 23 minutes before the mail place pops open. So that's probably about right. to stop and fill the tank with gas, and I might end up sitting out there waiting for her to open 10 minutes or so. That's not bad. I'm trying to think of, with the Home Depot and Walmart and Smith's and Albertsons and all these other places that are not going to be available to me for 4 months when I'm in Quartzsite, is there anything that I need to pick up? And I can't think of a thing, especially, the godsend is, for me, is Amazon. I have a mail service right in Quartzsite, and I've already started making Amazon purchases that are going to be delivered there at the end of the week. So that's a good thing. That reminds me of something I need to do when I get home on my medication. The medication they mail to me every month, because I move frequently, they are frequently screwing up even though I tell them, okay, this month I'm going to be at this address, they inevitably send it to an old address. This is kind of an odd thing to worry about, but this is certainly not exclusive to Pahrump. It's all over the country. You see these posters for real estate agents, and most of them are women, and the poster, or not the poster, but the billboard. I'm passing one now that's a male, so it's both. But I guess I would be concerned about a female, attractive female, having her picture having their phone number up there, and for selling real estate, it's probably a work cell number, and I wonder if they get any creepy calls from men. I gotta imagine they probably do. So if you're out there and you've been a real estate agent and you've had your face out there on sides of buses or on billboards, let me know if anything weird has happened. I guess, weird stuff could happen if you were a guy doing that, but I think it's less likely. I went out with a friend last night to an Italian restaurant, and I had veal piccata, which I haven't had. I haven't had in many, many years, and I thought I loved veal piccata, but I had this meal last night, and it just, the kind of the sauce and everything seemed too tangy to me. It wasn't good. I didn't like it. I didn't finish it, and I didn't take it home. I just left it, which was kind of a bit of a bummer. But and I had vague memories of, I think this is the way it's supposed to taste. And I've really found, as I've gotten older, what I feel like tastes good has changed. My taste buds or my tastes for food have changed. And certainly, I don't get excited about the taste of any particular food anymore. And, well, let's be fair, part of that is age, and I think part of it is the GLP-1 injectable medication I'm on for type 2 diabetes. I don't have the joy or enthusiasm for food anymore, which is a good thing. It's going to keep my weight down. The number one killer of people earlier than they need to be going is being overweight, I think. I mean, I've been in a lot of nursing homes. You don't see a lot of overweight old men in nursing homes. That should tell you something. They're either so healthy they don't go to a nursing home, or they're not around. I'm going to place my bet with they're not around. I hope this, every time I do a video in the car, I see the thing just jumping around. I think, oh, it's going to be terrible. But the stabilization on this is the iPhone I'm using. The stabilization on the iPhone is just great. Yeah, these roundabouts, I think there are a lot of accidents on these roundabouts. People just drive so fast here in that kind of condition. So I know it's a bonus video, but you want to see the road, don't you? Yeah, okay. There you go. Happy? Happy Pappy? That was from Seinfeld. Happy Pappy? We just passed the turn for the Desert View Hospital, which I continue to hear good things about, and I just heard that they do hip replacements. There's an orthopedic surgeon in residence there. So that's something definitely to look into. That could make things a lot easier for me versus having to go to Las Vegas. If you're from the Pahrump area and you know anything about that orthopedic surgeon, let me know in the comments, or send me an email if you have maybe something negative to say and you don't want to do it publicly. Just send me an email. I think the one I'm using on my YouTube is Rob Wakely LPC. I think. Look at just the general information section of my channel has my email address. I even give my mail service at for the winter in Pahrump and Quartzsite. Not that you can leave that, but my email's there as well. And the mail messages and more is on Leslie Street. And right up here is the very beginning of Leslie Street. And it actually ends at the first RV park or RV resort I ever stayed in. The one I initially established residency in is called Nevada Treasure. And I stayed there because I did all the online research and decided it was the cleanest, highest end RV park in town, and I think that's probably true. Sorry, I had a little glitch there where it stopped recording. So, mail messages and more is on this road. It's almost 10 minutes of 8:47, so I recall on the way there is a gas station on the left-hand side. We'll stop there and fill her up, then go get the mail, and we're closer and closer to the launch tomorrow morning. And I'll definitely be recording sections of that epic event. I see some streaks. I see streaks but it's on the inside. It's not on the outside. Oh well. So I don't know if you can see all these properties, all these houses are surrounded by fence, by 5.5 foot maybe fence. You see every single one, almost every single one is completely surrounded, the whole property, not just the front or the back, but the whole property. And I wondered for ages, why is that? That seems like a lot of money to spend when, what I'm used to is people want to fence their property. They usually fence the backyard for the dog or whatever. But and it turns out it took 2 years to get an answer. But the answer is that this area is abutting federal land that's used for cattle leases. And there's a law that says if you're up against that kind of land, you must enclose your property in a fence according to certain specifications. So it's not an optional thing. Now, the one answer that I have not gotten is, why are there certain homes that don't have a fence? Are they just in violation and they don't enforce it? Or are they grandfathered for some reason? I don't know. So if anyone knows the answer to that one, let me know. And some places like that on the right that we're passing have very fancy fences, and others just have plain old chain link. And it wasn't just hearsay. I actually looked it up and I saw the law and read it, including the specifications, which I don't remember. And there's inexpensive ones that just cheap steel poles with not chicken wire, but something close to chicken wire run between them. And when it requires you to do, completely surround, which means if you want to drive your car in your driveway, you got to have a gate. And here's the gas up here. This is where I'm going to gas up, guys. Coyote Corner. That's appropriate because one of the grocery stores I go to in Quartzsite is called Coyote Fresh Foods. Boy, you really got to be careful driving here. There's so many accidents. Cash only. No wonder this one's open. So, I don't want to pay cash. I don't have that much cash on me. So, I'm going to wait for this guy to go, but I think he just walked in the store, so it may be a little bit of a wait. All right, I'll be back when we get close to the mail messages and more. Well, that was a fail. That was a fail. Didn't get any gas. All the pumps were cash only, and people were taking a really long time. We're like, I'm not going to put up with this. I'll just get the mail, and then on the way back into town, I'll stop at another gas station that is a little more convenient, because it's 8:56. So if I drive slow, it's going to be open by the time I arrive. 4 minutes. So I'll be there. Maybe I'll have to wait 2 minutes to go in. And it is 8:57. So, oh horror, I'm gonna have to sit and wait for 3 minutes. What should I do? Kind of a pretty view, isn't it? Out in the back of this place. And those, I'm pretty sure those are California mountains. Maybe they're a little close to be California mountains. Certainly not far on the other side. You will see California. I checked on my medication and it has not been, the order hasn't been sent to the pharmacy yet, so I have to keep calling to ensure they're going to send to the correct address. They are going to be closed on May 29th. May 29th. Oh, there she's open. I'll be right back. Alrighty. Sorry, there's a little AC in the background. I've been sitting in the sun, even though it's 48 degrees out there. Got up to about 90 inside the car while I was going through my mail. I did not get everything that I was hoping to get in the mail, but I did get my Medicare supplement cards. I got those. I didn't get anything on the I didn't get a drug plan card. And I was looking for the handicap placards from the DMV, and they did not come. So I'll have to wait until I get a batch of mail forwarded down to Quartzsite from here. But I don't think, as long as I'm feeling as good as I am now, I'm not going to need those placards for a while. And I decided, I talked to the chiropractor today, that if things kind of deteriorate in Quartzsite and I get really uncomfortable, I'll just pack everything up and drive back up here, go back to Prefer RV Resort for a week, and do, like, you know, a whole week's worth of, which would be 4 days of adjustments to kind of relieve the pain. So that's the plan. I also realized, well, you know, I have this Affordable Care Act insurance policy now that doesn't cost me really hardly anything, but it costs the government, you know, I think the subsidy is like $600 or $700 a month. And I had this horrible thought that if I didn't make sure that policy was canceled as of February 1st when I start Medicare, and they keep that policy in force, and the government keeps paying the insurance company that $600 a month or $700 a month, I would think they could come back to me and say, you need to pay for that. So I called my insurance agent and asked, so are you going to cancel it? Because she's my agent for the Affordable Care Act too. Are you going to cancel that? Do I need to do something to cancel that? I think I'll do both just to make sure, unless she does it and I get like a cancellation notice that, you know, it's gonna stop as of February 1st. Because really, the new policy takes effect on January 1st, so I'm only going to be covered for a month. 1 month for the year. Just January. And why would you bother? Because you know what? One thing that I've learned in this 65 years on the planet, if anything can happen to anyone at any time, and often with no warning. So we're not quite done though, because we didn't get the gas. We need to get gas. So I think what we'll do is, I've never been to the one that is the Gold Town Casino right on the corner near home, has gas pumps, and we'll go there. We'll fill her up there. Having a discussion last night at dinner about the potential changes to Social Security and Medicare should the new administration follow the Heritage Foundation's recommendations. And a lot of people I was a little nervous about that. I'm thinking, are the benefits is there a proposal to cut the benefits, which would, my benefits get cut? So PBS, Public Broadcasting System, had an article on there on sort of fact-checking rumors about the Project 2025, and so I read that and I felt better. Social Security, there is no proposal to cut Social Security directly, and it reported that Donald Trump's website they quote from the website, "We're not going to cut a penny of Social Security." So that made me feel better about Social Security. However, Medicare, one of the proposals, and I don't know whether, it didn't say whether this has been officially adopted by the Trump administration, but it would be to make Advantage plans the default for Medicare, which would be an enormous boon to the insurance companies. Because understand this, when you get Medicare at 65, you get Part A and Part B, and there's deductibles and co-insurance where, it's not free. It covers a lot, and it's good, and Medicare handles the claims and everything, and they stick to their claim plan, and they don't decline. If a doctor basically says you need something done, you can pretty much count on Medicare to approve it. There's not a requirement to get any kind of pre-approval for anything. Medicare doesn't require pre-approvals. It's just either a covered service or not, and it doesn't require a referral for a specialist. You just go to the specialist, and they assume if a doctor says you need something done, they approve it because they make the decisions. So a lot of people who are concerned about those co-insurance payments and deductibles. And co-insurance is generally, something gets done and you got to pay 20% of it. That's co-insurance. And deductibles, that goes towards your annual deductible and there's different deductible for different things. So you can end up paying quite a bit out of pocket if you get really sick. So people like to avoid that. So the most inexpensive thing to do is get what they call a Medicare Advantage plan. And there's still a deductible and everything, but they take care of more. Right? And some of them are like $1 a month. Some of them are like free. And you see advertisements for it all the time saying, it's free to get an Advantage. Why wouldn't you do it? It's free. Well, here's the reason it's free. Advantage plans work like this. The government says to XYZ insurance company, we will pay you X thousands of dollars per year, or for the year, because these things renew every year. So for a year, if you take Travels with Dottie, if you cover his insurance needs for a year, we'll pay you, I have no idea how much they pay, but let's just say, I'm going to pay you $5,000, right? And you're responsible for taking care of Rob for a year. You're going to process the claims. You're going to approve or decline claims, and you can make your own rules for pre-authorization, and you can create a thing where you have to be in a particular network. You can make the rules, but we won't process anything. We're going to basically subcontract it out to you. So the insurance company goes, well, if they pay me $5,000 and I only pay out $1,000, I make a $4,000 profit on Rob. So this could be a lucrative thing for me. And it's an easy sell to the client, because you're saying, you don't have to pay anything. It's free. Well, the alternative is what I did is they have Medicare supplement plans. And the Cadillac of those plans is Plan G, and that's going to cost me $158 extra a month on top of the $185 I pay out of my Social Security check. But it keeps everything within Medicare. It is administered by an insurance company, but the insurance company with the Medigap policy has no say about approving, declining anything or any rules. That they can't make their own rules up. All they're doing, they get a very low amount of money just to do processing. So it's essentially Medicare without a deductible. And the total out of pocket when you have Part G is $221 a year. Everything else is covered as long as it's a Medicare covered procedure or item. And that covers everything except drugs. Drugs aren't covered under Medicare. They're not covered under the medications are not covered under basic Medicare. They're not covered under Part G. So I have to go out and shop for a Part D medication thing, and that is costing me $89 a month, and it's expensive because I use an expensive medication. So that's why I got one that has big benefits, low deductible, et cetera, et cetera. So what they're proposing is, what I think, and I haven't seen the details, is let's just make everybody do Medicare Advantage, and it's basically privatizing Medicare. Either making it a mandate, and it said they used the word they want the default to be Medicare Advantage. So you automatically have to enroll in a Medicare Advantage program. Now, does that mean they will no longer sell Medigap? I don't know. Didn't really say. Does it mean if they stop selling them, will they grandfather you into one that you're already in? I have no idea. So there's a big question on what kind of Medicare reform happens. So I'll be keeping my ear close to the ground on that one. And I just wonder how high a priority it is. I just don't know. So we have made it back. You know what? We made it back, but guess what? What didn't I do? Anybody in the comments, what did Rob forget to do? And Ken will be out there, the first one out there to say, Rob, you didn't get gas. You went on yapping away about Medicare and Medicaid for probably the fourth or fifth time in the past month, and you forgot to stop and get gas. That's your crime today. But I save myself. I'm going to go right in here. What did I say I'd do? I was going to go to the casino right next door. Has gas pumps. They look suspiciously empty though. Oh no, there are people using them. It's Gold Town Casino, and it's a Phillips 76. So, put her in park. All right, turn the camera around, shut the car off, get out, fill her up. Where do we tap? There's the tap. Not want a receipt. Lift handle. Select. So there's a little concern about what may or may not happen with Medicare. Keep an eye on it, and it's not the absolute end of the world. Although I really love the idea that with the policy I have now, I can afford it, and I can go anywhere in the country to get care. If I get cancer, I can go to any cancer clinic I want throughout the country. An insurance company isn't going to tell me what I can and can't do in terms of treating an illness that I may have. But if that doesn't happen, I'll find a way to work around it. It's okay. It's not gonna affect my day-to-day lifestyle, and neither will tariffs. I mean, I hear a lot of people going on about how terrible tariffs are going to be, and here's the thing: is that the executive branch can do the tariffs, right? They don't need Congress, and even if they did need Congress, this new administration already has Congress pretty much in their back pocket, at least for the first 18 months or so, before people start taking temperature on the midterms. But you know, they can if they do a tariff, and there starts, you know, the effects are going to be pretty immediate, right? And did I already do? Did it? Hang on. That's that was fast. I want to make double sure it's full, but it put $50 in that just few minutes that we were talking, and yeah, it's full. So that's, and when we get back to our spot there, I'm going to reset the odometer or the trip thing, so we know exactly what our mileage is going to be and everything. The mileage isn't going to be as great as it could be because I filled my water tank all the way full, because I really don't want to stop in town with my trailer to fill up my water. I don't like filling my water. I don't like filling my water in the LTVA because it's just got such a high salt content, and I want non-salty water. I do. So I could stop in town at a place, but it's crowded. I don't like pulling my trailer through town if I don't have to. So anyway, so that's 32 gallons times 8. So it's like, you know, having, if it's 30 gallons, what's that, 240 pounds, and 2 more gallons, 256 pounds. That's not insignificant extra weight. So, it won't be as great. have arrived back at Preferred RV Resort. So I lost my train of thought again. Sorry. I have no idea what I was talking about. I think I put the tariff stuff. So I think that if really bad economics things start happening, they can change it pretty quickly. And the last thing any administration wants is any kind of economic disaster that can be traced directly back to them. That's like the third rail of politics, just like, talking about cutting Social Security. They call it the third rail of politics. So I'm not terribly worried about it. There's some history of prior administrations using tariffs and it was an economic disaster, but who's to say that this administration is going to do exactly the same way, and who's to say that the economics today are the same as they were 50 or 60 or 70, however many years ago that happened. So I'm not terribly worried about that. I do know that if they're Chinese tariffs, I'm going to be paying more money for my gadgets. That's for sure. Maybe 25% more for my gadgets, maybe more. Maybe I'll buy less gadgets, but at least I'll have a choice. I'll have a choice of whether to spend the money or not. It's not like income tax where you don't have a choice. I mean, if you earn this amount of income, you got to pay that amount of taxes. Anyway, thanks for listening. Bonus video. Have a great day. I'll see you soon. I'll see you tomorrow.